internet cafe
Oh,
in Africa. That's usually who it is. And when I confront them, if I had time, I would be talking to this person and saying to them, do you know that I'm a pastor and you're trying to rip me off? You need to repent, kid. I'll start talking to them like that. And the next thing they're like, oh, please forgive me, and it's just because we have no other way to make money. And maybe you can help me with money. I go, no, I'm not helping with money. I will pray for you.
mm.
It's so funny. I'll sometimes lead them along until I can get them to a point where I can get them to admit what to do. It's on record, hon. Thank you. Love you, Will. Thank you. Oh gosh. He's funny because without him, I forget to record. Monday night, we had our class, I was teaching on one world government, one world religion. And it was very interesting. But we have a guy that now we have a worship leader, so he comes on with his keyboard and he sang a song, and I'm like getting into the song, and then I go to start to teach, and I'm like, I forgot to press record. So anybody who's watching it now, which people watch it a lot afterwards, are never going to hear that beautiful song he did. So that's why even with with the paint classes, he has to hold up a sign, record, record, record. So I remember to record. But anyway, yeah, this flower is very pretty, and it's very, very, very abstract.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, like normally when we do a flower, and we've done flowers together before, you got the center and the center, and you got all the petals are the same size, and then we put smaller ones in the middle or whatever. This is so abstract. Nothing is the same size, but it actually looks really, really pretty. This usually is hanging up downstairs, this one. And this particular one, in making it as many times as I've done it, painting it, I've learned there's a couple ways we can do it. I prefer to do the black background first. You, if you're really against that, you can wait, and you can wait till we start to do the flower, and then you can fill in the black background. The reason I like to do the background first is because then a little bit of the black shows through when we're doing the flower. So it's not like that solid color. It makes it look real yet abstract at the same time. And I just found that it's nicer when we do the black first. But I'm not going to stop you if you're not comfortable with that and you want your flower to be a more solid color, then just let us paint the black first, and then you paint it in after. So it's up to you. What I'm going to recommend now is that if you're going to do it the way I'm doing it, you can either use a sponge or you can use a big brush, and let's just get our whole background painted black. Let's start with that, okay? If you're using a sponge, you can wet it first, but wring it out really good because we want it to be a dark black. You also don't want it to have too much, you don't want it real thick paint, but you do want it dark. So I'm just rinsing off my sponge right now. So it's just really wring it out well if you're using a sponge. If you're using a brush, you don't have to wet it first. Just make sure it's pliable. So I am going to start with that. And there should be no way in the world we cut out now unless the whole internet goes down, because I am upstairs at my desktop. So, okay, so when you're putting the background, just make sure you can go right to left, left to right. It doesn't matter with this, just as long as the background is pretty solid. You see a little bit through it, you're okay. You just don't want it to look gray. You want that nice dark black, so the flower really stands out. Trying to come up with some nice paintings for the month of second half of March and then into April. Next week, we've got another black background with the lady, that real pretty lady with the nice dress on. And you don't have to worry about her face because we're looking at her from the back. And then the following week, we will do that kitty cat that we missed out on. Some people have asked me about that, so I promised we will do the kitty. And then we're going to start looking at some other things to do. Some nice spring looking paintings. I don't know how long we have to go before we can actually meet together, but we're okay this way. I was reading that they're supposed to have like 30 or 50 variants of the virus right now in Niagara. So it's like, I don't know. I doubt that we're going to be meeting together for a while. And when you get this black painted and it looks pretty good, solid, the way you want it, then we'll use our dryers to dry them, so then we can start working with the flower right away. So I can see some lines in mine. Oh, by the way, you usually do this one in the landscape, not portrait, landscape. Okay, just so you're prepared for that. And I am going to apply just a little more black so it's more solid than it is, because I can see a little bit too much of the white canvas behind the black, and I don't want that. This flower, we use a lot of lighter colors once we've got it on here and we've done the darker color of the petals. We put a lot of the lighter color in with it. And if some of your black is showing through, then you don't have to do too much of the shading. But if there's not a lot of black showing, you'll be doing a little bit of shading also. I love your paintings when you send them to me. They're all so pretty, and just everybody's is so unique. So I'm just going to get my dryer here and dry this a little bit. This is a heat gun, in case you don't know what a heat gun looks like. It's a tool, actually. But a hair dryer works just as well, if not better, because this dries faster, but it can burn the canvas really easy.
Ooh.
And it can also burn you very easily. It's very hot. First couple times I ever used it, I burned brown holes right into the canvas.
Side.
Now, I'm not sure if you're going to want to chalk this in first, or if you're just going to go with it. It's not difficult. That's up to you. I think you're all knowledgeable enough to just go with it and not have to chalk it. I might have some chalk up there. Maybe not. No, I don't. Okay. So you're going to start with your, if you're doing purple, you'll have 2 shades of purple. If you don't have 2 shades, then you're going to put your darker purple on the tray. We're going to start with, if it's pink and you have 2 shades of pink, we're going to go with the darker. If it's yellow, whatever, we're starting with the darker color first. So make sure it's shaken up and put some on your tray. Why isn't this coming out? Okay. And we're going to, I'm still wondering if you should use chalk or not. Are you comfortable with just painting it right away, or do you want to draw it? You want to draw it first?
I'd rather draw it, yeah.
Yeah, I am thinking that too. I'm just trying to see if I have a piece of chalk here. Would you mind giving me a couple minutes to just run and get the chalk?
I was gonna say I could give you some.
Could you give me some, please? I'm gonna, just 1 second.
Okay, I'm gonna rinse this off.
Okay, I'm back. So, I got my trusty chalk. It was downstairs. So this flower, we have to imagine that we're looking down. We're looking down at it a bit. We're not looking straight ahead. Down. And it's kind of, the parts that we're going to see right here are a little closer to us than those pieces. So you got to look at the perspective, the dimension that we're looking at. That's why everything looks big here and small there. It's like when we're doing a house or a stream or the woods. Things look smaller and get bigger as they're towards us. So these are larger. They get smaller. The flower hasn't split in two and half of it's back there. It's just how we're looking at it. So we're looking down at it, and this is closer to our eyes than the back part. You understand what I'm trying to say? So you can get an idea of why we're doing it this way. So we're going to start with the center of the flower, but it's not really in the center, but it's that center piece of the flower where those little things are in the middle. So it goes off to the side. So if you're looking at your painting, it's going to be off to the left a little bit and up a little higher than halfway. So I'm going to draw it first, and we just want to do that circle so that we know what we're working with. Whatever size canvas or sketch pad you're working with, you judge on the size of it. I can't tell you. So I'm going to put it about here. So I'm going to do it first, and then I'll. So I put a circle. It's off to the side a little bit. It's giving us enough room to make those great big petals and still enough room to make the smaller ones. So it's off to the side, probably one. The end of it would be about a third way across your canvas. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. When we've got that, we've got our nucleus. Now we can start working on our flower. So let's start with the largest petal coming towards us, the one that we're seeing up close as we look at it. So we're going to start here, and we're going to start right at the circle, and we're going to bring it out, and it's going to keep a pretty generic shape. So it's going to come down, and it's going to come to that point. And we're going to do the same thing on this side. It's going to be a good size petal. It's almost like we got an awkward looking snowman. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's our first petal. The next petal, well, basically we can start it from there. It's going to be covered, but that kind of an idea. We're just building petals. They're going to get smaller now. The next one is going to come like that. And then this is going to meet this petal. The next guy, he's going to throw it right off because he's going to be bigger, this one. This one's going to go right off into the corner. And it's going to come down. So it's going right off into the corner. So you're not going to really see the point. It's going to be up. This point would be up here somewhere. You're not going to see it. The next one is a small one again. And you're not going to see the top of it, not all of the top. And it's going to come around and join the circle. So that's a small one. The next one is going to be larger now. And the next one's going to be reaching all the way across. It's going to go out, going towards the about a third of the way, 2/3 of the way of the canvas. And it's going to come right from where you left off with that one there. And you're going to bring it out, 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 out. And then it's going to come from here. It's very large. Looks awkward, looks weird, but it's going to look good when you're done with it. The other one starts about where this petal is, and this one's going to go right to the end. It's going to be one of the largest ones. It's going to be wide and come right to the end, and it's going to do that same thing here. It's going to come down. It's going to be very wide. So when you're looking at it, that's how it's looking. Okay, it looks a little strange. The next ones, now we're going to do 2 petals that are coming down, and they're going to start. I mean, you could go way up there, but that's not necessary. So you're going to start about where this petal is, a couple, about a quarter of the way across the petal, the one that's above it. And it's this one's going to come down, and the point, you're actually going to see the point. And then your final petal, I'm just going to wipe off this thing in the middle. So that's how it looks when we draw it. Very, very, very abstract looking. So what we're going to do now is, if you're happy with the way that looks, and I'm just going to take my brush now and go over the chalk a little bit, so I can get a little bit of that chalk off of there, but I still want to be able to see it really well. So you see what I'm doing? I'm just kind of blending the chalk into the canvas right now. It's still there, just getting some of that powder off, so it's not going to be so much trouble when I'm painting. So I'm just brushing it in. See, it's blurry now. It looks a little on the blurry side, but we're getting off some of that dust. And with your flower, when you're going to bring it to a point, once we're painting it, you can make your point very, very pointy. You can have the point kind of curved a little bit, tilting upward or tilting downward. I'll show you when we're painting it. So right now, we're just getting a little bit of that chalk off of there. Same with the circle in the middle.
Deb, are you using a dry brush or a wet brush?
Dry.
And just brushing it off?
Just all I'm doing is going right where I drew the chalk. And I'm just brushing the chalk now. So what's happening is it's looking blurry. Do you see that?
Yeah.
It's still giving the outline of what I want, but the chalk dust has come off.
Okay.
You know, it's not necessary. I've never told you to do that before, but this is what I would do. Like, I don't know, just to get rid of that, so that when I'm painting, this is just a little trick that I use. I don't leave that on there. Sometimes in a class, when we've got people that don't really know what they're doing, I might just tell them, you know, draw it and let's move on. But you all know enough now that you can know that when you get the chalk, you can brush it with a dry brush and get most of the chalk off and still see everything you want to see. So I don't know if you've noticed before, but when we're using chalk, sometimes that powder is hard to get off. So this way, let's get it off before we start painting. Plus, it's giving you a feel of the flower. While you're taking this brush and you're just smoothing it on there, you're getting a feel of your flower. Painting is it's all about what you feel, you know? It's all about what you're trying to put into it and what you're feeling at the time. And it's relaxing when you're doing this. It's very relaxing, stress relief. So that's what that looks like. And when you're ready, you can put your darkest color that you're using for your flower. That's what we're going to start with. So I'm using purple. So I'm going to use the darkest purple I've got right now. And I'm going to use a square brush, wherever it is. Or you can use an angled brush. I don't think I have an angled brush here right now. If I had one, I'd use it. You got to remember, my studio is actually downstairs. Now all this stuff is upstairs. Anyway, it's not a very big brush. It's about the size of not even as wide as my thumbnail. And I'm going to put it in that color, the darkest color I've got. And I would recommend for you that you let's start with the circle. So we don't want to fill the circle in. We just want to go round and round the circle a little bit and give it some texture, just round that circle. And let your hand just sweep around that circle. You don't have to fill it in, and you don't have to cover up all the black. If some of the black is showing, that's okay. Just kind of sweep your hand around that circle. Can't see it real good because of the color, but now because we don't want our arm, I don't know what you're working with. Most of you have it down, but if you've got it up, it might be a little easier, but I'm holding it as usual. I tried putting it on the canvas, but holding it's good and it's closer to you. I'm going to start with the smallest flower petal, and I'm going to start to move over on the sides. I'm not going to do these bottom ones until I get the top ones done, only because I don't want my arm leaning on the painting. So I'm going to start up here at the top with this one here, the smallest one. And the same way I was taking my brush and wiping off the chalk, I want that same flow with your hand when you're painting this petal. Do that same sort of flow with your hand. And all you have to do, let's outline the petals first. Let's not fill them in. Let's just outline them. I don't know if that makes it better or worse. Does that make it worse, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little too bright.
So we're going to outline every petal right now. And then we will fill them in. When you're outlining them, then you can go up to the circle with most of them. And I am going to go, I'm not going to do the one right in front of me in the front now. I'm going to go up to this real big one up here now. And I'm going to do that one. And the real big one goes right off the canvas. The big one that goes off to the right goes right off the canvas. Trying to see. Maybe this is too bright. I don't. No.
It's just a glare. We can't see it.
There. If I hold it like that, you can though, right?
It's better, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That light, you know what? I'm gonna have to get him to, they're adjustable. He won't be able to do it now, but for the next class. So now I'm doing the bottom ones.
Debbie,
Yeah,
my paint is very translucent. Does that matter, or should I pick a different color, or what do you think?
did you stir it? Did you shake it?
I did shake it, yeah, but it's like red, so it's
Mine is too.
pretty
Yeah.
translucent.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what happens.
Wait.
Mine is too.
Okay.
You can't see it, but you can see through this.
Okay.
I wonder, I think I might see if he'll come in here and adjust that light. Because that one is way too bright on me. And it's really blocking. Let me see if I can get him to come in. Larry? Larry? Could you adjust this light for me? It's like making a big glare on the painting. So I'm having a hard time seeing. I think it's just the one that needs to be adjusted. There's, it's shining like directly on my painting. I think it's this one. It's directly on the painting, and every time I hold up the painting, they can't see it because it's glaring. Can you reach that?
This one here?
Yeah, I think that's the one. Technical difficulties. We're just having a maintenance man come in and fix it.
Thank you, Larry.
Hello, I'm better known as a janitor.
Good looking maintenance man. Thank you. Nice belly you got there.
Nice what?
Belly.
I don't have a belly.
You're right, you don't, just when you hold it up.
You're a cynical person, whoever you are.
You know who I am.
Now this one's gonna be on me because you wiggled it around. Let's see. How's it going?
How's that?
Oh, now it's even brighter. I can barely look. That's better. Well, kind of. No, it's not. Okay, we're gonna have to wing it somehow. Whew. Can you turn that off? And maybe that one over there on. We're gonna try something there. Now you can see it better.
Yep.
And we're gonna put another light on that's over here and see if that's better. Okay, all right, we're just gonna work with what we've got right now.
And which lady said I had a belly?
Deb,
Deb, I don't have a belly.
he lies.
I said I agree, only when you hold it up when I can see it.
Okay, so we should have these guys all painted in like that now. So now we can fill them in, but don't fill the circle in, okay? Leave the circle as it is. And if you can see through this, it might require 2 coats. But you do want some of that black showing. But like I said, it might require a second coat, and that's okay, because by the time you get around to the last petal, it'll be time to do the first petal again.
Hmm.
And when you're doing that, make sure that your brush strokes are showing, because the neat thing is that where in the world is, you know what, I wonder if it's this.
That's
The
the-
yeah, the brush strokes, when you're stroking, this time you're actually using brush strokes instead of tapping. Those strokes look like they're part of the petal, which is pretty. So if you've got some strokes showing up, that's good. And you can put a lot of paint on your brush this time because you want that texture. So put lots of paint and do paint strokes. I'm wondering if maybe you just keep painting. I'm trying some different lighting here to see what works best. I have a feeling it's the color I'm using. So let's fill in those petals. I am going to try something so that you can see it better. I'm going to try to put a lighter purple with mine, and possibly it's going to show up better for you to see. I'm hoping. Yeah, it's showing up better with the lighter purple. I'm okay with that.
Deb,
Yep.
what are we filling it in with? Same color?
Yeah, you're going to fill it in with your same color. I'm using a lighter color now so you can actually see what I'm doing. That was too dark of a color for you to see.
But we want to show strokes?
Yes, because the strokes is going to give it that look of the petal. So you really want it to look like nice little strokes coming to that point. Like I said, I had to change to the lighter color now, but it's okay. I'm actually seeing some of the dark purple in the middle of it, so it looks nice. Remember, we're going very, very abstract with this. And I think you can see it better now. And we're going to do everything that we just traced with our paint. Now we're filling it all in. And you're going to go right to the circle, but you're not going to actually do that circle. You're going to leave that circle because we're going to work with that after. And when you're putting your strokes in, you can move your hand quickly if you want and lift your brush up as you get towards the end of your stroke. So you're going to kind of curve your hand a little bit, move your hand fast, and lift your brush up quickly when you get to the end of every stroke. It just gives it a little bit different look than if you just kept your brush right on it to the end of the petal. Just lift your brush up. Start again from the circle, go over your petal, and then fill it in. See what I'm doing there? So this is a violet color that I'm mixing in with it. Make sure that the paint is thick this time. Usually I tell you to not have it thick, but we want it to look nice and full. And that the one that's going the really big one, give that some nice accent to it. Make sure that your hand is flowing as you're painting it. You have two fairly large petals. Well, three actually, but lots of paint and lots of stroking. Now, when I look at my petals, I can see some black through it, but I want it to have that look. You may not. You may decide that you want your petals to be very solid, and that is perfectly all right if that's what you want yours to look like. You might want to do a really heavy second coat so that there's no black showing at all. And we've got time to do that, so you can do that. You know, dry it off and then do a second coat if that's what you want. There is no petals, I mean, no greenery on this. I have done this painting with people where they have added greenery. When they just, at the end, they wanted to do their own thing. Some people added greenery. On this one up here, I have a bee flying there. People add different things on it, so you're welcome to, if you want to put some green leaves around this, you can do that after. But the whole purpose right now is to get this nice flower going. And then whatever you add to it, you can add. So I actually, because I had the darker purple when I started, it's showing 2 shades of purple on mine right now. It's got the light, which I put on so that you could all see it. And then some of that dark purple is showing through, and I actually like it. So it's not a wasted painting. It's, because I had to change the color. It actually looks good with those 2 shades. What's your cup say, Deb? The boss, right on.
That's my husband's cup. Mine says the real boss.
Ah, so we're just going through, when you've got it painted once, you can just look at it. You can add more paint. You can go dry it first and do a second coat. But what I'd like you to do when you've got the whole thing, before you do anything more with it, as far as your set. Okay, that's good, Deb. Yep. I want you to take the circle and I want you to go round and round that circle so that it's really standing out. Okay, just
With
go
what
round.
color?
Right now, the color that you've got your flower,
Oh,
it could be a little bit lighter. You're going to do that circle in the middle is going to be a totally different color. But right now, we just want that to stand out a bit. So I've just made it stand out like, trying to see where you can see it the best. What in the world? I've only got one light in here and I can't believe it's doing this. So you can't see it too well. Now I am going to put the dryer on it for a few seconds. And then I'm going to run my brush through there. I might not do a solid coat, but I am going to do more paint on it. So I'm going to run my dryer on here, just a little to dry it off. Once you got it fully painted, you can do that too. And then we can go in with some more brush strokes to give more character to the petals. I'm gonna try it up here and maybe you can see it better. So now I am going to take some of that light and dark that I've got. So you would probably want two shades. If you've only got red, you might want to lighten it a little bit and put some light red in there. If you've got, I don't know, turquoise, you might want to lighten it a bit. Put a little bit lighter color if you've got it, or mix it. Take the color you're using, mix a little white. And you're going to want to now go through your painting, your petals, and just similar to what you were doing, just put some more streaks in there, only you're not going to totally fill it in. You're just going to run some streaks of a color that's in the same family. You've only lightened it up a bit. And you're going to bring that through the whole flower in different spots, accenting the petals. So if you know that that petal was supposed to come from the top, and it separates it from the petal next to it. So if you look over here for just 1 second, you'll see these, can you see that? The two petals are two separate petals, but if I didn't do something, it would look like it's one petal. So I put this lighter violet here. Can you see that right here? Now I'm going to put some lighter violet curving that way. So I am separating the petals. And then I can just do the same thing over here, separate the petals. With the lighter color, I'm still keeping the dark there, but I'm just bringing some of the light in to give it an idea that the petals aren't one big blob petal. It's more than one petal. I'm doing the same thing over on this side. Every petal is going to have some of the lighter highlighting and separating it from the next petal next to it. And in a minute, we're going to put some darker color in there too. So everywhere where the petals are, I'm just kind of separating them a little bit with this lighter color and running some light colors going throughout the whole petal. Just bring it through your petals. Just stroke it through there. Nobody can say what's wrong or right. And I'm going to do it all the way through all these petals. Now I might want to take the darker color and edge it a little bit. That will also separate the petals. So I can put some dark in there also. All I'm doing is bringing colors into the petals. Light colors and dark colors, all of the same shade. You've just lightened it up a bit with some white, or you've taken a shade lighter of what you started with. And when you're putting colors on top of colors, it's giving a layered look to it. And try to do that on every petal that you've got there. Just giving that little bit of a separation between the two petals, the petal next to it and the petal that you're working on. You know, sometimes when you look at flowers, you see a number of colors. They're not always one solid color. And that's what we're trying to do right here now, is to just give it a blend of colors from the same family. And every petal doesn't have to be identical to the next one. That's the neat thing about doing flowers and trees. They're all different. It's like people, we're all different. We're not all the same color. We don't have the same size noses. Our eyes aren't identical. And it's the same thing when we're working with flowers and trees. Just keep blending some colors in with every petal. Keep working on it until you got it where you are satisfied with it. Oh, working with an easel hurts your arm. Hurts my arm anyway. I'm putting some darker colors right now on the petals. And every petal is looking different. I'm going to try to bring this up so you can see it. I don't want the light to get in the way. Oh, it doesn't work either.
Debbie,
Uh-huh.
just tilt your picture instead of having it straight on. That way I can, yeah, I can see it better that way, I think. Okay,
All the colors,
thanks.
there's a number of colors on there. And I'm sorry that it's not for some reason showing up good today. I could show you this one, which was showing up better. You see how there's the different colors blended in?
Yeah.
So that's got a pink background, like a fuchsia, but it's got light pink. It's got, well, later we'll put some white into it, but it's got light pink. It's got a little black showing through. There's a couple shades of pink so that it's not solid. Like I said, you might want a solid flower, and I'm okay with that. Mine right now has got a variety of colors in it. It's all in the purple shades, but I've just kept mixing and putting light purple on top of it. And then I went back and put some more dark purple. And every petal is different. None of them are the same. I'm dipping my brush in the light and in the dark at the same time. So as I put the strokes on, the two different colors are coming on at the same time, light and dark. And I'm not covering the whole petal. I'm just putting them around the petal and a few strokes inside the petal so that the whole thing is not covered. And then if I feel there's too much dark, I'm putting a little bit of lighter on top of it. So this is all where you can work with your imagination now. That's what I want to see you doing. You all know what you're doing. You've all been painting. Jeanette, that garden you did, that rock garden thing with the water flowing,
Yeah,
gorgeous,
yeah.
absolutely beautiful.
It just took my eye with the bamboo and the rocks and.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did something like that years ago, and when I saw yours, I thought, I got to do that again. It's so pretty.
It was fun. It was really fun.
Yeah. So, like I said, let's make sure that you're adding a lot of paint strokes with the different shades of your color. And that's what's going to give this such a pretty, unusual look to it. Now, how is the flower coming? Are you all like getting happy with the way your flower looks?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Good, Sharon, yes, excellent. So it's coming around, you got what's going on with that, so that's good. We can work, if we want, a little bit with the center, and then we can put some white, some more white, if you want white inside your flower. But I'd like to have us work on the center so that we've got some of that done. The center, it depends on the color of your flower. You can put yellow. You can put turquoise. You can even use some white. I think I'm going to use yellow right now. So I'm going to put a little drop of yellow on my tray. And stuck my finger in the paint. And then I'm going to get a brush that's got a fairly good size back to it. And that's how I'm going to put those little dots in the center. And you put a lot of those dots. You don't just put one or two. And show you. So we're going to take that center. Make sure you've done something like I've done, round and round and round and round and round, so that you can see the center from the sides. So it's not all blending into one. You've made it, if you had to take a lighter color, but you've made this circle round and round and round. So it looks something like that. Now, if it's solid, don't worry about it, because we're going to put the dots on it anyway. But you do want brush strokes so that you can visually, when you see that, you see a circle. So even if you've done it solid, just make sure you can tell there's a circle in the middle where the petals join.
Do you want black in the middle?
Mine's black in the middle, yeah.
Yeah.
If you want it, otherwise you can make it, you know, if you've got it all the same color, leave it the same color. But you want to make sure that you can actually, do you see how you can see a circle there?
Yep.
You know, let's even erase the black. Let's pretend like the black's not there. You can still see the paint going in a circular motion. So you want to see that little bit of a look there with the circular motion. And then I'm going to just take the back of my brush. I hope this is the right yellow that I'm using. And I'm putting the yellow paint on. I'm just going to start putting dots all inside that circle. A lot of dots. We don't want them to blend into one dot, but we want to see a lot of dots. And they don't have to all be the same size. You see what I'm doing there? Just a bunch of dots in the center. Fill that whole center in. If it's solid, that's fine. Just put dots in the center inside the circle that is very apparent. You've made that circle so you can tell it's the center of the flower. And just put lots of dots. Now you don't have to put all one color. You can put different color dots in there. I'm starting out with yellow. I'm thinking that I'm going to put some turquoise dots in there too, just to make it really, really colorful. So you can put light blue. You can put red dots in there if your flower is not red. And so I have lots of yellow dots now. And I think, yeah, I think I'm going to put some turquoise dots. Put a few more of the yellow ones. You really want to fill this up, but you got to be able to see, distinguish the dots. You don't want to fill it up to the point where you can't tell they're dots. And then I'm going to put a little drop of turquoise and throw a couple of turquoise dots in there too. Always make sure you shake your paint a little bit before you put it on your tray. I'm just going to put a teeny bit of turquoise if my paint goes along with me. Every time I use these ketchup bottles, they seem to get all clogged up. And then you squeeze real hard and then the whole thing pours out on you. So I am just going to pour it out this way. Oh, no wonder. It's dried up and it's clogged the hole. There we go. Maybe now it'll work. Let's see. So I finished another doll
Wow.
for somebody. I just have to put eyelashes on it now. It's another one of those preemie dolls, and I'm working on a therapy doll for a nursing home. They asked me to do a therapy doll. Okay, so there's my yellow dots. Now I'm not going to put as many turquoise dots, but I am going to throw a few turquoise dots in there too to bring some color. Just a few. Make it look pretty. See what's happening with the turquoise dots. They're just in there. You doing okay, Wendy? Yeah, okay. Hey, Linda's not here tonight. Usually she is. Huh. I hope she's okay. So I just accidentally stuck my finger in the turquoise and touched my flower. So I'm just putting some color on top of where that turquoise hit it. I'm just throwing a little bit of purple on it. And that's okay. Makes it looks good anyway. So those are the colors that I have in the middle. There, if I hold it this way, you can see there's purple and yellow. So I put purple and yellow dots in there. And you can still see the black, so that's okay. If yours was solid, then you're just going to see the purple beneath it. It doesn't matter. And if you want to brighten your flower up a little bit, and I don't know where everybody's at, you can take and put a little white on your tray. No need to put a lot. You don't want to waste your paint. Put a little white on your tray. And with your fan brush, and you're going to do this really carefully. And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if it's not the way you want it to look, once you've tried it, just do a little bit first. Then you can cover it with your dark color. So I don't want you to do it and then say, oh my God, I just ruined my flower. All right, so please don't feel that way. I'm going to show you what I mean, and then you can decide if that's what you want to do. So you put a teeny, teeny, teeny drop of white paint on your fan brush, like so. And even that's a little too much. I put it on both sides. So I'm just going to touch my tray a little bit so I get some of that off of there. So I've just got a little teeny bit of white paint. And I'm going to do something around that circle. Because right now you see the circle, but you don't really see it. And I kind of want it to be seen. So if you look at this one, you see the circle and you see how it's kind of bright around it. So if you want to do that, you take your fan brush and you go to where the circle is and you hold your fan brush like this up close, not at the tip. And you're just going to fan a little, taking it this way, like this, not like that, like this. And you're just going to fan a little bit around the circle, just a little. You want to bring a little bit of lines going around that flower, around that center of the flower. And you're going to pull it out right around the circle of the flower. And I'll get this done and then I'll show you what I mean. Now, because I like abstract, really abstract, I'm not making mine perfectly perfect. You might want yours a little more, I don't know, circular or whatever. I've just got it going all over. So mine looks like, see what I'm doing? I'm going around the circle. I'm putting the fan brush near the circle and I'm just pulling out a little bit with it. And it's giving it this kind of, it draws your eyes to the center of the flower. So you can make that as large as you want or as small as you want. And you want it to look really like a little fluffy. So it has a fluffy appearance to it when you're looking at it. And it's going around that circle. And you're just going to go around it as much as you want until you've got enough on it. Some people just put a little teeny drop, others put more. See how I've done that? And it gives it a nice, when you're looking at it, it draws your eye to the center. And it looks like maybe it would have those little things that are sticking up from the center. You got those, remember, we're looking down on it. We're not looking at it sideways. If we were looking at it sideways, we'd be seeing these little stems sticking up, but we're looking down. So you're only seeing the top. So that white fluffy stuff might have little stems on it. But in actuality, you're just looking at the tip, the tops of it. And you can do that a little bit if you want. Not necessary, depending on how much highlighting, how many streaks you've got on your painting already with the different shades of the original color. You can put some white streaks in there. Now I will show you on mine. Let's see, Deb. Hold it up a little bit, hon. Debbie, hold it up.
I like it.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Look
See,
at
that's what
that.
I was just gonna tell you to do that with the
My
streaks.
white streaks worked.
Yep,
I'm
Nice.
very pleased.
really nice. So that's what I was just gonna show you. You can do that sort of thing with the streaks. You can
The
bring it
streaks
right
made it.
down like Deb did. You can do them like around like I did with these violet ones. You can pull them down. But remember, go very light with it at first and make sure you like it and do it only on one petal until you know for sure that's what you want to do. Because you can always repair one petal if you don't like it. Okay, so give that a try. I'm going to wipe it off a little bit and I'm just going to pull a little bit down on each. And I'm barely putting anything on mine, but I like it too. You're right, Deb. Oh, that's different. That's neat, Wendy. Very nice, Jeanette. Good. Cool. So I'm doing similar to what Deb did. I'm just pulling some white streaks down my petal. See what's happened? You see how it's become alive?
Mhm.
Those streaks really do something for it. And you don't put a whole lot. You just put enough to give some life to the petal. It almost looks like it might be blowing now a little bit in the wind, or I don't know, something's happening with it. Now this one here, I got sloppy and I turned my brush. You see what happened there?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go into the purple with that fan brush, the purple and the violet, and I'm going to go right where I don't like that one streak, and I'm going to streak it. See, I put the purple and violet on there now, and I am going to just go in there and cover that because I thought that was way too much. And that's all you got to do to cover things up. That's the beauty of doing abstract. You can fix things quickly, easily. So what I'm doing now with my fan brush is I've dipped in the two colors that I use, the two purples, the violet and the purple. And then now I'm taking my fan brush and I'm putting it this way, vertically instead of horizontally. And I'm just kind of running it through in a very few spots. And you might not want to do that. You might be totally happy with what your painting looks like right now, and you don't want to do another thing. You know me, I like to add stuff. So I'm just going through and just right where the petals are, I'm just adding a couple little marks. And it's just giving, to me, I like that look. Some people wouldn't like it at all. I like it. That's what makes us all individual. Everybody does it their own way.
Hmm.
So what you can do is you can put a little bug flying there. You can put a bumblebee. You don't have to put anything. You can, if you want, you can put a green stem coming out somewhere. Or you can just leave it just like it is because it's pretty just as it is. again, this looks really good if you varnish it. I tell you this all the time. So it doesn't hurt to get some of that varnish. Deb, you live so close to me. If you want some, I can give you a little container. I'll pour some in because I got a pretty big can. You live really close, you know, and it'll give us an excuse to have a tea or something. I can give you some and you can have it there, and you don't use a ton of it. So on your little painting, you know, you'd have to get some brushes like this at the dollar store. And you'd have to realize that if they don't wash off good, you're going to just throw it away. Right now, when I'm doing the dolls, I have to varnish them at the end. And I've been throwing the brushes away because that varnish hardens quickly. So, but you know, pick up a bunch of these brushes for $1 or $2. They come in a package. And then all you do, like with this kind of brush, with this painting, you don't even have to do the whole painting. All you have to do is take it and wherever you want it to shine. So let's say I'd want it to shine, like be really shiny, this petal. And maybe I just want the outside of the petals to shine. And maybe I want that center to be really shiny, those little dots. So you don't even have to waste it all and do the whole painting unless you want to. The other thing is hairspray. Hairspray works really good. It still gives it the shine you want. So you might want it to just be matte, like this one. That's without any spray or varnish. Now I have these same paintings that I've got downstairs that are varnished, and there's a big difference. They're just shiny, so it depends on what you're looking for. Shiny or not. I have one over here, I'll show you. I'll go get it quickly. I think it's funny when I say I'm going to go get something quickly, I forget how old I am. When I stand up after I've been sitting for so long, it's not so quick. So this one here is shiny. You can see it's shiny. This is just this one I did with a kids class to show them how to mix colors and everything. But I showed them how to use like the varnish on it. And if you look, it's shiny. Do you see that? So that's the difference between the matte and the shiny. I don't think this part has been varnished, but up here it has. And it gives it that shiny look. So if you want that, hairspray, or you buy a can of that shellac stuff, and it's varnish, it's called, not shellac, or Varathane, I think it's called when you get it. Canadian Tire, not expensive. So that's my final piece. Don't forget to sign it. Don't forget to send me a picture of it. It makes me happy. I have your pictures. And then I can show other people the beautiful work that you guys do, which I love to show people. So are we good? Everybody happy, done? Yes? Wendy's yes. Wendy, that looked really cool. I know, I like it. That's original. That is definitely an original flower. Multicolored flower. It's the rainbow flower.
That's good.
Really nice. Are you all happy with it? We lost Jeanette. Okay, and I did record it.
It was fun.
So it is going to go on YouTube. I started to put them on YouTube now, and I'm putting them on the Creative Painting Parties Facebook page. I'm just learning how to throw them on there and have a file where if people missed a class or they want to go back or maybe their cousin wants to do the same painting, you can say, okay, go on there and watch it. So I'm going to try to put as many on there from now on too, and get that going.
Very
So,
good.
okay.
Debbie.
All right. Okay, guys. So next week is that pretty lady, the one that's from the back with the beautiful gown on, and her hair's an updo black background. That's the one we're doing next week. Yeah. Just I think I've got the colors on there. If I don't, I will make sure I put them on, so you know what to have. And we will have fun with it. Then the following week will be the cat, and then you can stay tuned for the new paintings that I'm going to be putting up. Okay,
Very
all
good.
right, guys. Yes, Deb.
I'll come back in a couple of weeks because I have a standing meeting on Wednesdays.
Oh,
And I took it off today to be here.
you're sweet. Thank you.
So
Yeah, I
I'll
remember you
come
told-
back in a couple of weeks, okay?
Yeah, I was
You
I
all,
was I
though.
was going up and back from Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Tuesday. And finally I said, I can't do this anymore because it's confusing the people and
Absolutely.
confusing me. And it's really better for me because I got Sunday night service, Monday night Bible I teach, Tuesday. I can't do like all those nights in a row. So it
Understood.
gives me 1 week, one night of relaxing. I don't relax anyway, but whatever. Not teaching. But I love teaching, so it's okay. I'll teach every night. All right. Love you guys.
Good to see everyone.
Thank
Okay.
you.
We'll see you
Good
all
night.
soon.
Good night.
Okay? God bless.
Night.
Bye.